Today I'm out with my daughter. I took her to school, to university. Since she had an injury, she cannot go by herself, so I'm with her. I have about 2 hours here close to her university in Topkapı, Istanbul. Let's go out and take a look around.
The Merkez Efendi Mosque Complex is located outside Mevlana Kapı, one of the city gates next to the walls of Istanbul. The founder of the lodge, which is one of the most important Sufist centers of Istanbul, is Musa Muslihiddin Efendi, or called Merkez Efendi, died in 1552. After performing the noon prayer, I continued to walk around the town and stumbled upon a small bakery. I was here only to get some simit, but when I saw these beautiful cookies, I wanted to give them a try. Bir tane de kurabiye.
Hemen ben tartacağım kurabiyelerini.
So I'm back. It was cold outside and a bit breezy, so it's nice here. I have my simit. Even though it's not warm, it is still crispy. Bismillah. The simit is very classic, crunchy outside and chewy inside as a quick snack, and I have the recipe already on the channel. I'm gonna check somewhere here. Now I'm eager to try the cookies because they looked very appealing. The simit was 15 Turkish liras, which is about 50 cents, but the cookies are 450 Turkish liras for a kilogram, so it is about $15, which is kind of a bit too much when you compare to other prices. They have walnut halves and egg wash on top. Bismillah. I get the taste of the tahini and a bit like the caramelized taste coming from the molasses. There are also walnut pieces inside the cookie. Flavorful. I heard this cookie recipe a lot of time but never tried. So looks like now it's the time to try it, so you can also make it.
We are back home, and next day she also has an exam, so I decided to make something savory this time to take with us. I'm gonna add the ingredients in the description. Here I'm making a starter for my dough, so it's gonna be more softer with this step. Normally for this poppy seed çörek, you don't make any filling, but I wanted to make it more like a meal to have it, so I'm making a potato filling. While sauteing the onions, I grated my potatoes. You can parboil it and then cut into cubes. Sometimes I also make the filling like that, but this time I wanted to saute quickly. And after my starter became foamy, like within 10-15 minutes, I add more flour, salt and mahle powder. It is optional to give more flavor, and knead my dough until it is soft. Meanwhile, I'm gonna saute my potatoes, added a bit more butter and olive oil, and to season some salt, black pepper, cumin and turmeric. Normally we don't use these spices, but I wanted to have something like hot and spicy. Later on, I decided to add some currants and cinnamon for an extra flavor similar to sarmas we make. I'm gonna rest my dough until it doubles. Here I have yellow poppy seed paste. It is ready, we buy from the markets. You can try with black poppy seeds. I just added some sugar for the take out the bitterness and vegetable oil until it is a spreadable consistency. Getting out my dough into lightly oiled countertop, and I'm gonna cut into 6 pieces, make them round. I had my evening tea with me. It's the tea time for us. I'm going to roll out with my rolling pin as much as I can. It doesn't have to be very thin because it's gonna stretch out more. Add from the poppy seed paste and continue to build up the layers. After the top layer, you don't add the poppy seed filling, so spread accordingly, and then let it rest for 15 more minutes so it can stretch more easily, and roll out again with the rolling pin as much as you can. Now the fun part, I'm gonna cut into triangles. I cut it into 16 pieces here. Put generously from the potato filling and then roll out, and while rolling, stretch again as much as you can to get more layers. Again, since we are working with a yeast dough, it needs to rest, and see how it rises again beautifully. My oven is preheating to 200 Celsius degree. I just egg washed and pop it to the oven. They came out beautifully in the middle of the night. It's not a time that I usually bake, but looked beautiful. It was hard to not to eat. So later I tried a little piece and it was delicious.
It's 9:30, about 6-8 degrees, breezy. It took about 1.5 hours to come here for about 25 kilometers, I think. Too much traffic, but we brought her on time. I'm back to university. It's lunchtime. I have beautiful tarhana soup here. My daughter already got it. It's an ancient recipe, fermented soup powder you make from scratch using all kinds of veggies, tomatoes, cucumbers, yogurt, other ingredients. You ferment it for 15-20 days and then it is ready to dry. Okay, let me get. It is, I think, like a comforting and luxury thing to have your own soup or meal from home in your car while waiting or enjoying the view. let's take a look at the Merkez Efendi library.
There were so many beautiful books. I saw architect Mimar Sinan, but don't have much time to read because I have my own exams from gastronomy to study. And this is handwritten Quran given to the library as a gift. You can touch, read it, take a look and take photos. Here I'm having a tea with my husband, talking about my exams, how I'm gonna get time to study, etc.
It's around 5:30, sun is setting, and we are still here. My daughter's exam, she took a little bit late. We decided to wait to perform the evening prayer and then we will go back home. Right now I checked from the app Istanbul's traffic and it says 8, which means 80% of the roads are red. Full of cars, 80% is blocked. So it shows around 2 hours to go back home. We'll see how long it's gonna take after we do our prayer. Look at this.
Today we are at home and usually in the afternoon we have something sweet and savory, whatever we have as a snack, along with tea or coffee. So I heated up some poppy seed çörek along with quick cake donuts. My husband brewed himself a tea and we were gonna have a coffee with my daughter, but we couldn't resist to have a cup of tea along with the savory pochas and kept the coffee for later in the afternoon. After working on the computer for a while, I realized it's almost dinner time and I don't have anything in the kitchen. So I decided to make a quick menu that I cook in this kind of days with the ingredients I usually have at home. I partially boiled the green lentils. It's gonna shorten the cooking time and also will result in a more clear water for the soup. And as a main dish, I'm making quick Turkish mantı with pasta and ground beef sauce. I sauteed the onions in 2 pans for the soup and the sauce. My husband cooked, thankfully, the pasta for me. And while sauteing the ground beef, I added some of it to my soup so it will have more bolder texture and protein. added some tomato and pepper paste to both pans and garlic, and to the soup I grated 1 carrot, to my ground beef sauce some chopped green peppers, some bone broth to the soup specially for my daughter, so hoping she heals more quickly, some salt, cooked green lentils, and after they cooked for like 10 minutes I also added some orzo pasta. I wanted to make the soup rich so I can also take with us the next day while we are out. Finally, I sprinkled good amount of dried mint and my soup is ready. And for the ground beef sauce for our mantı, quick mantı, I added the tomato and pepper paste here, some butter, extra butter, a black pepper and oregano. This is how you serve the quick mantı. On top of the pasta you get the mincemeat sauce and then yogurt and a little bit more from the sauce, or either you can melt some butter, add chili flakes to flavor as an extra sauce. We don't have any dessert at home, so I decided to quickly make some carrot cake, perfect for winter time. I'm whisking 4 eggs with close to 1 cup sugar until frothy, foamy, creamy, as you can see. And going to add 3/4 of a cup vegetable oil and about 1 cup loosely packed carrots. I didn't scale it here, it was a bit too much. And going to add 2 cups of flour, 1 package 2 teaspoons baking powder, half a teaspoon baking soda, a teaspoon of cinnamon. Mix everything. Added some walnuts and raisins, and my cake batter is ready.
And looks cool. She says you can make sarmas with this. Böyle tek tek yaprak al. These are called Turkish. I never thought I would film such a thing. Okay, you Albanian.
Ah, sì,
Okay.
Albania, sì,
And
sì.
Italian?
Io
Köfte.
musulmane, ciofte, sì.
Köfte, pilav.
Pilaf, tutti.
Harika.
Sì, hava, tutti.
Now I'm thinking what to do with them.